this is Suzy, a popular model, and well received by most people. Gives very little trouble, goes on the water, and after about 20 minutes assembly, it gets going and keeps going, and if it used all its 5 car batteries, it would probably last a week. However, it uses one at a time, and usually lasts a day on one battery, that is, that the battery is fully charged. This model had its origins and was in the out-of-work period of the early 80s, Thatcher's years, and was the second model after the 3-decker. It came about because they wanted something to do, and most of the 50-year-olds like myself were dumped. And this is made largely of waste. The main source was Dutch tomato boxes, the ones with Holland written along the side, in which the hardboard on the base was used as a frame, and the plywood was used as a superstructure. Lots of boxes, by the way, and the end boards were used for the decking. The decking on the original being pitch pine, and it had the Portuguese pine used for the end boards of the tomato boxes. Got the very same yellowy look about them. It was assembled, the whole, by the way, is cardboard, utilising every, not just Kellogg's cornflakes, but any other boxes, of which I had plenty. I never threw cardboard away. And I got down to making my first real cardboard boat, if you like, not thinking it would be successful at all, but just for something to do. I think largely all the models have been built for that same reason, something to do to keep the mind occupied. And it was built in 1 year, and it was engined and motored when I finally got a bit of money together. It was built on a shoestring, all of waste, and I mean all. Very little was bought, apart from the long strip wood which I did buy from the DIY. It, as I said, 12 months to build. The cost was extraordinarily low. I'm not saying what it was, but almost unbelievable. That is with the a hectopherm, servos, and all the other bits. I was conned because I was green in the wrong motor for the job, but I managed to get the paddles whizzing round, rather like an aircraft propeller. It's totally unsatisfactory, of course, but at least I got things moving. And as I only had a 2-channel set, I was restricted to independent panel movements for turning. However, this was not to be, although it was a goable, it was then hung up over my bed for 8 years, as I'd by then started on the bigger one, Corsair, and so it was somewhat neglected. And it wasn't until the 30th of April, '89, after its birth was 1980. In 1989, it got its first sale at Hay Hall Pond. It was taken out, having been then re-engined with what I thought better engines, etc. And remarkably enough, it's more or less to all, much to the surprise of all, it sailed straight out of their hand. The ballast needed, as we counted batteries in, actually we only had 2 batteries on the initial sailing. We put both batteries in, it made precious little difference to anything, so we got lots of lead weights from Tony, who happened to be there at the time, and bunged them in. We finally got it down to a waterline, and it sailed away merrily. Did quite well, although the belt ratio was going to be needed to be altered to give a little more speed. It was no trouble then, and I can safely say, really, apart from the odd little snag, that this bloody great thing has never been any trouble since. It seems to plod on and keep going, as everyone that's seen it will testify. It's a good old sailor. In fact, it's become that sort of expected that he bills around. They usually say, "Where's Suzy?" It's an exceptional thing. In actual fact, it wasn't. It was built with no great shapes in mind, and it worked. And it worked as an all cardboard boat. I think one of the largest probably ever built at the time, although it was never aimed at, as I said, doing anything spectacular except to find me something to do. As wherever it goes, it's a crowd puller, and it's very popular. At present, and will probably be featured on the film, its big brother is in course of construction, 2-funnelled version of which kept this one company at Malta. It was based at Malta. A single funnel version, the smaller one, was based at Malta, and there were 2-funnel ones, of which I'm building one now called Cracker. They're both tropicalised RN colours, that is white. The old-fashioned RN colours was a white upperworks, and the buff funnel, buff ventilators, etc., and the black and red hull with white boot topping. They look rather magnificent and rather clean looking for a tug, owing to the being Royal Naval or run by auxiliaries usually, and probably local Maltese crew partly. The 2 of them should look quite well together, and the other one is due for test at any time, probably before Christmas 1992. If I'll mention now that Dave Collier, who sort of heaved, panted and struggled to get these up and down and to various shows, he had a token of my thanks anyhow, because I think without him I don't think anyone would have seen the things, and he took a great personal interest, and in fact took a lot of time and went out of his way to heave them around. As I say, I have a van now which makes things a lot easier, but they've certainly done the rounds with the help of Dave Collier, also of Hayhall Club, who really shifted and broke his back nearly on occasion, as they know lightweight. That said, we'll probably go on. We'll go on to the Navette and the other, and that I think will, at the moment anyhow, is all there is to say about Suzy. There'll probably be some shots of it on the water. Mr. Roundoff. You